Whenever we make a video, Jerusalem, Israel, always stands by us in every battle. I love it. One question people ask repeatedly is, what is the source of all this? Where do you get all this from? Well, here is our source. In fact, it's not just ours. These are the sources of the entire Islamic history. The key books are Tariq al-Tabari, Ibn Asir, Ibn Kathir, Ibn Khaldun, and many more. Almost the entire world understands Islamic history through these books. But in my opinion, an even bigger question should be, what were the sources for these books? Where did these great works and their scholars come from? 1400 years ago, after the passing of the Prophet Muhammad, the first Caliph Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, and Ali Ra did not write any Islamic history because there was no need. Most of the Sahaba were still alive, and they already knew the history of Islam. But gradually, as the companions passed away, new generations of Muslims began to forget the history of battles like Badr, Uhud. Young Muslims began admiring the heroes of Roman and Persian empires like Hercules and Rustam, rather than Islamic heroes like Khalid ibn Walid or Ali Ra. To remind this young generation of Islam's heroes, the great Caliph Umar ibn Abdul Aziz took the initiative. He summoned a prominent scholar of that time, Ibn Shihab al Zuhri, and instructed him to travel and give lectures on the life of the Prophet. By that time, only a few Sahaba were still alive, and Ibn Zuhri learned directly from them, passing this knowledge to his students. Among these students were Ibn Ishaq and Imam Malik, whose contributions are known worldwide today. Ibn Zuhri then wrote the first comprehensive book on Islamic history. However, shortly after completing the book, Caliph Umar ibn Abdul Aziz was martyred, and within 30 years, the Umayyad Caliphate collapsed. With it, Ibn Zuhri's original history was lost. After the Umayyads, the Abbasid Caliphate rose. Though the Abbasids had their flaws, they deeply valued knowledge. One Abbasid ruler even fought a massive war against the Roman Empire just to obtain a single book of Plato. Caliph al-Mansur destroyed the Umayyad capital and established Baghdad as the new capital, building the world's largest library, later known as Bayt al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom. He summoned Ibn Ishaq to rewrite Islamic history, compiling a complete record from Adam As to his present time. Ibn Ishaq produced the first full historical account under al-Mansur's order. Sadly, this book too eventually disappeared. The problem was that Muslims did not yet know paper-making technology. These early books were written on expensive materials like papyrus, a painstaking process. Paper production was only mastered in China, far from the Muslim world. After a victorious battle against the Chinese, Muslims captured prisoners who knew the art of papermaking, introducing the technology to the Abbasid Caliphate. Later, under Caliph Harun al-Rashid, Baghdad saw the establishment of the largest paper factory near the House of Wisdom, ushering in the Islamic Golden Age. Thousands of books were written, and scholars were highly respected, almost like modern football stars. This era also saw the compilation of major hadith books like Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim due to paper technology. The historical works of scholars like Ibn Hisham, who completed Ibn Ishaq's history, survived to this day. Other prominent historians, such as al-Waqidi, Kitab, Ibn Sa'd, Tabaqat, and of course, Al-Tabari, Tariq al-Tabari, compiled detailed accounts of Islamic history from the Prophet to the Abbasid era. However, after the Abbasids weakened, European powers and the Crusaders exploited the decline, capturing Jerusalem. Even then, Muslim scholars dreamed of reclaiming Palestine more than rulers did. Notably, Imam ibn Asakir, whose students later included Salahuddin Ayyubitha, liberator of Palestine. During these times, other historical works, like Ibn al-Asir's Chronicles, recorded victories, conquests in India, and the rise of Muslim empires. The Mongol invasion, led by Genghis Khan and later Hulagu Khan, devastated Baghdad, burning the House of Wisdom and its books, ending the Islamic Golden Age. Paper production suffered, forcing Muslims to rely on Europe for supplies, which allowed Europe to surpass Muslims in printing and knowledge dissemination. Later historians like Ibn Kathir, al-Badaya wal-Nihaya, and Ibn Khaldun Muqaddimah documented Islamic history comprehensively. Meanwhile, Europe invented the printing press, producing books at an unprecedented scale, giving rise to new scientific advancements. By then, the Ottoman Empire had become the new Muslim superpower, but rejected the printing press, considering it un-Islamic. This decision caused a knowledge gap, allowing Europe to advance in science, education, and printing, leaving Muslims behind. This is how the legacy of Islamic history, from the Prophet to the Golden Age, the Crusades, the Mongol invasion, and the scholarly endeavors, was preserved, lost, and transformed over centuries.